Hi everyone, it's Wendy. If you don't know me, and now you do. This is definitely. I'm sorry for the mic. The first episode of a new topics that I want to talk about. And today I am going to do it in the form of a mukbang, but a healthy mukbang. Because if you watched my previous video, I've gained a little bit of weight. My skin is acting crazy. And this is this delicious dish that my mommy taught me to do with a lot of love. And actually, I made so much of it that I put some in the freezer. It's basically lentils, quinoa, basically, like we would call it in French, a ratatouille mixed with all types of carbs except for rice and pasta. So healthy carbs. So today in this video, I feel like I might as well talk about the things that I want to talk about because there is so much tutorials that I can do about hair and my skin. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait until I achieve this goal of mine to talk about certain topic. But then I realized that if I get you guys used to watching my videos for hair and skincare, and then I have the audacity, the nerve of wanting to talk about something else, it might be a little bit of a surprise, pleasant or unpleasant. So I'm definitely getting myself comfortable. I'm gonna start eating, and yes, I have two pimples here. I'm not gonna remove the cream for the topic of this video, and you're gonna understand why. Because we're a very small community. I know that not a lot of people is going to watch, and but for those people who are going to watch, who are going to connect with the topic of this video, I really hope it helps, and I would love to have your opinion, your maybe your own experience, and it is what it is. So yes, let's get on this journey and reinvent ourselves for just the good of feeling good about ourselves. So yeah, 35 finally single. Finally. And I always knew that I needed a moment for myself. I think after a really bad breakup, I started to go from relationship to relationship and basically making sure that, okay, this one is not gonna work, but I have a good hold on this one. But I need to make sure that I have a good hold on the other one, on the next person that I'm going to date after this person. And it's basically the monkey bar. If you don't know it, it's just you go from one to the other, and you move yourself to the top of being dependent, of being in a relationship. And I know for myself, definitely my spiritual life um, has had a big impact on, I mean, the lack of spiritual life, actually. I water. Definitely am going to take a break from any liquid that is not water, except if it's a soup or something like that. Yeah, so I'm on a mission of losing weight, getting myself together, getting my skin together, and only God knows where I'm going to end up. At the moment, I'm in Portugal, Lisbon. And yeah, so 1 liter, and let's get it. And another thing, I'm gonna try to generalize as much as possible. I don't mean to get too private into my personal life, which because it's something that I hate, something that is reserved for nobody else but God. But there are things that are so common that it's okay. So yeah, I feel like if you were raised in in a household where there was a lot of faith in God, and or if, let's say, you have a passion, if ever since you were little, like you played soccer or you played basketball or you played a sport and it was your entire thing, like I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna do this, or if you're an artist and trying to you make your music and you're trying to break through, you're trying maybe not being a star, but just being able to live off of what you like, well, off of your passion, basically. So you always have that little that thing that whether it's faith, passion, usually passion and faith, it's the same thing. You always have that thing that you can anchor to. So you're never, just floating around and then getting away from the shore and be like, oh, damn, I need to swim back and make sure that I get it, that I get back to a safe place. You don't have to be on guard. You don't have to be. You don't need none of that because you have the anchor. You know that no matter what, you are attached to that anchor, and if you go too far, anyways, it's going to pull you back into what's safe. So for me, it was a specific breakup when I was actually very young. I was 28. And I'm very young. So people at 25, they're gonna be like, young where? Yes, at 28. And I was engaged. I was engaged, but actually, no, it's not the relationship that I was going to talk about. The relationship that I was going to talk about was the previous one, where basically I fell in love with someone that did not exist, whatever it happens. And ever since, I've been not really looking for. Um, I haven't been looking, and I've been like, yeah, man, that's some BS. I was kind of open to the idea, knowing that, some people come from a background with parents that are divorced or things like that. So when you open yourself up, even though you kind of don't feel like it, and then you get disappointed, it's kind of like, okay, I get it. I don't know what I thought, but it is what it is. It's definitely, reminding me that yeah, you take the best out of this life, out of relationships, and that's that. And when it's over, and you go to the next one. And that's pretty much the way I've been thinking ever since. Even when I was engaged, I was like, worst case, I can divorce. But at the time, I was still spiritually awake. I mean, with a little buzz, but I was still awake. So I was kind of like, no, I know it. I cannot get married in front of God and then be like, in my heart, know that, okay, worst case, I'm just gonna leave. And it was to a point where, even if, when you're no longer supposed to be in a relationship, whatever the person does, or like the person who's coming to you to give you a hug, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, ew, and you just cannot take anything. Like, this person becomes so ugly when they used to be so beautiful at the beginning, because of all the qualities that you thought they had, which they may have had, or maybe, maybe it was all a lie, it was all a dream. And that's that. And yeah, I know for sure that for me, it's definitely by the grace of God that I am finally out of this spiritual desert. Um, Things have happened in a crazy way because I didn't come here in Lisbon, Portugal for. I knew I needed to change. I knew I needed to leave Paris, and I left Canada before going to Paris, and thankfully I did because it was the pandemic. So I spent the pandemic with my mom in France. At least we were together. Otherwise, it would have been really difficult. Um, but yeah, and I knew I needed a change. I knew I needed something. I knew that spiritually I wasn't there, but I was like, I don't have any other choice but keep going. But deep down, I knew that there was a way to go back to God, to go back to spirituality, and but I just couldn't find the way. You know, when you go too far, that's why I say when you see that you gain a little bit of weight, when you see that your skin is acting up a little, at some point, it's enough is enough. Okay, we're not gonna wait until we gain 20 kilos. We're not gonna wait until we have our entire face looking like a pepperoni pizza. Okay, we put a stop to it as early as possible because it's easier, less challenging, and that's normally the way to go. But often it's very easy as well to be like to ignore, to pretend, to lie to yourself, and convince yourself also, even though I don't, doesn't really work for me. Like I know what it is from the beginning. I just choose to go with whatever plan I have in mind, whatever. And therefore, I was in a very respectful, very mature relationship that lasted 6 months here in Lisbon. It was very nice with an older gentleman who was 40, who is 42, and already has kids, already was married, and while I was with him, I was on my spiritual journey, and at the beginning, not at all. So I was so okay with being in a temporary relationship and knowing that there was not going to be a big commitment except maybe living together at some point or something like that. So yeah, and I basically I had opportunities to meet people who were spiritually awake in a specific time of the year, and maybe it would have been a different type, a different moment of the year. Not even maybe, because I can actually see it even now, like right now, that that person that I get to know in that specific period, that specific month of the year is not the same now, which is so perfect and so cool because you know what, God is gonna use whomever, and nobody's perfect. I'm so not perfect, and I knew that they were not perfect as well. I was, yeah, I was, yeah. I have a past with religion and things of that nature where, yeah, you pretend, a lot of pretending when, come on, we all know it's not easy. The most important part is to love God and to actually want to shrine, but we're not perfect. In the fact that we sometimes lie to ourselves or people or pretend, and I name it, and pretend to be filled with the Holy Spirit. You're not filled with the Holy Spirit. You're just, I don't know. And I've been baptized from the Holy Spirit. So I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but yeah, it's a lot of things when it's religion, and I was no longer. I completely rejected religion. Completely. For me, it's a lot of manipulation from people. The human nature. You cannot trust a human 100%, no matter what. Not even your mom or your dad, not because they want to harm you, just because they are human and they're going to hurt you without even knowing it or wanting to hurt you. So if you can't even trust your mom and your dad like that, just keep your heart, close to you and do walk around the church and thinking that it's all kumbaya because then we have example like right now with a certain pastor involved with PDD in his case, all doing all types of things and preach. He used to preach with such conviction, and at this point, I was like, oh my god, these people, are they like convincing themselves that what they're doing is not wrong? Because in my mind, the only person that I'm not gonna play with, the only thing I don't play with is God and the spiritual world. I don't play with God, I don't play with the spiritual world. Just because you believe in God and you ask Him for protection doesn't mean you need to jump out of the window. It doesn't mean that you need to put yourself in weird situation and be like, no, God is going to be with me. No, I don't try to tempt. No, oh, you know, if I do, it's not out of ego to tell myself that I'm to show myself that I have faith. And no, I know that sometimes, whew, if I call on, I'm not sure if it's gonna. At some point, I was like, I'm not sure if it's gonna answer, so I better keep my hands on my sofa and not play too much. But yeah, I don't play with God. I don't play with spirits and things of that nature. And I wonder how can you be a pastor and end up in doing such crazy things to me and not be afraid of God. Because I'm sure at some point, you had the basic, the fear of God, the basic fear of God, which is you know that God loves you, but you know that you are His creation and that you were meant to be in a relationship with Him. And now you are almost like spitting like in His face, like doing those things on top of that in the church as well. Like I know nobody's perfect, but come on, in your office, in the church, because it's one thing to do something wrong. Like I practiced a lot of wrong thing, and I'm keep practicing a lot of wrong thing. The only thing is, I remove myself. I'm not a preacher. I'm not. I'd rather if I was, and I know it seems simple to say, etc., but I would prefer to remove myself from certain position. I would prefer to even not use the word I am a Christian or I am a Muslim or I am this or I am that out of fear of disappointing other people or pushing people away from God. Because I feel like every time when I got closer to God, it was through people who were at some point, at one moment, such a great example and a source of inspiration as well. And it doesn't matter if it was just for a season. We all have seasons. I just would like to go from seasons to seasons to seasons with a minimum guaranteed connection with God. Because to go back to the beginning of this conversation, it was more, yeah, just um, um, keeping myself and my heart as entertained as possible. So, of course, always being in a relationship with someone, whenever. And I realize also I like the beginning, and then I get bored because the beginning is nice. We don't know each other. We get to know each other. The guy is putting on a lot of effort. If he's not, I'm not even. It's not even an idea for me to entertain such a person. But and I feel like for a woman, it's really not that difficult to find someone. Honestly, it's just yeah, and yeah, and a lot of going out, a lot of drinking, and just keeping myself busy, and basically anchored to someone else than God. But that someone else, some of them were anchored to their passion. So the last relationship that I was in was actually a great, had a great influence on me. Someone that is very into music, very mature as well, 42. It's not someone who's floating around anymore. So depending on who I was with, I would stay close to the shore, or I would I would go wherever the person was going, kind of. And that is, now that I think about it, that basically was the reason when I would start thinking, you know what, no, I need to leave the relationship. But it's only after thinking about it that I realized that I would only give more time to guys who were keeping me safe. Yeah, and that we're staying close to the shore, and therefore, you know what I mean. So yeah, and I can't even lie and say that it was difficult. It really, really wasn't difficult to end, because first of all, we were honest with each other from the beginning that whatever happens, if we're just not into it anymore, or if we meet someone else, before doing anything with someone else, we just end clean and clear. And that's what happens for me. I no longer needed to be. I no longer needed him to be the anchor of my life, my activities, whatever. And having God as my anchor back is just amazing, because it's now allowing me to basically get rid, or not get rid, because I talked about relationships, not getting rid, ending different relationships, whether it's relationships with men, whether it's relationship with drinking, alcohol, constant going out, constant need of being overly entertained, some way, somehow. Not perfect. I'm still on my journey, and the journey is for life. Nothing is guaranteed. Gotta hold on. But definitely it's crazy. So on this new journey, yeah, I'm getting rid of alcohol. I'm getting rid of promiscuity. I just really, with a clean slate, wanna not even reinvent myself, because I know who I am, and I know how I am when I'm on my own, and I know who I am when I'm with myself, because I'm a big introvert as well. And therefore, the best time that I have sometimes, except when I was in the previous relationship, was the time that I had with myself. With nobody except my mom will make me laugh the way I'll make me laugh. Well, of course, because I understand my humor, and I'm an only child, so I'm used to play with myself. Just because I'm 35 doesn't mean I don't play with myself no more. I'm just kidding. But the previous relationship was really nice in the sense that it showed me that I could be completely myself and be the goofy self that I am. And not only he appreciated it, but it was funny to him as well. And that was really cool. And so when I'll be in my next relationship, it's definitely something that I'm gonna remember, that I can be completely my goofy self. I mean, come on. Otherwise, it's just so boring. And it's not always about where we're going, what we're doing, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, it's already been 24 minutes, but basically, just follow me on this journey now that I am free and can actually make decisions based on what I really want. I'm no longer feel the need to be something that I'm not. And if my purse offends you, I don't care. I mean, if it's not this, it's gonna be something else. So I might as well be me, do me, wear whatever I want to wear, do whatever I want to do, be however I want to be, because at the end of the day, we will get offended. I'm offended. You work in the call center. What do you have? No, it doesn't make sense. I'm gonna leave you over there. I'm gonna leave you over here with all of that because I can't. The abomination of thinking, the stupidity of thinking that I have big purses and I was looking for a big purse and I was thinking I cannot wear this because people are gonna think that I'm better than them because I have this purse. No, so I need to buy a purse from H&M or whatever that is more subtle, that is more whatever. I have two bigger bags. Well, no, I'm gonna use what the fuck I have. I cannot even budget my budget the way I'm supposed to budget it. But even 25 euros for a stupid bag that is going to break, that I'm going to have to replace the next month. Even my bad budgeting, understand that it doesn't work. So yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited. This is the first episode, and I don't know, probably gonna make you discover this one a little with me as well. But such a great feeling to feel free, such a. I'm like, seriously, God, I am here. I am holding on, like literally, like I'm no longer being like, oh yeah, I'm attached to God, like yeah, God is my anchor, and I float around and I look around. No, 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 no. I'm looking at that anchor and I'm like this. Okay, we're not going back to that because it took a long time. Took a long time, and I remember sitting and I remember thinking, oh, I miss God, crazy, and I don't care the standard of beauty. I don't care about them. I like what I like. I'm a little bit of OCD with the with the look I have. It is if it comforts me, this is for me. I am not wild. I'm not gonna dress wild. I am not doing X, Y, and Z because that's not me. So that's that. And actually, I think it will be cool too. I also wanted to talk about fashion and things like that because these are things that I really enjoy as well. Because really, these relaxed hair videos are getting old, but I'm gonna keep posting about this relaxed hair. As you can see, I'm doing the bagging method now. The baggy method, and it's really cool for your ends. It's really good for your ends. And in 1 year, I cannot wait to see. And it's so crazy because I used to think, oh my God, I'm 35. I'm only. Ugh, no, let me not go too dark. But I was like, whew. I mean, a lot has been done. A lot has been seen by my soul, by my heart. 35. In 30 years, I'll be 65. In 35, I'll be 70. A lot has happened in 35 years. And the next 5 years, now I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I'm choosing me. I'm choosing God. And I'm going to dare doing things that I really want to do. I'm going to dare living my faith to the fullest. I'm going to dare making changes and not have anyone stopping me or compromising because I could have stayed in that relationship and You would have been like, okay, you live your faith, and but now you know that a non-believer is definitely not going to say no to his physical needs, and I cannot be praying, asking for forgiveness every single week. Okay? So so it is what it is. So this was the first episode. I don't know what you think about it. Let me know down below. I'm gonna stop here and actually eat because I was talking so much. I didn't even eat. Peace in the Middle East. Bye.